Ladies and gentlemen, the president of
YouTube Fitness.
Chest up, shoulders back. This is Revival Fitness, and I welcome you to the 2024 YouTube Fitness State of the Union Address. This is an election year, and despite this being a monarchy, because I am also the bull king, and nobody can dethrone me unless I have a son, I am still the president of YouTube Fitness, and I am thrilled to say that our campaign is stronger than ever. We made history and broke records in 2023. I finally bulked to 200 pounds, I finally hit the 315-pound bench press. I cleanly dumbbell rowed 115 for reps. I squatted... Who am I kidding? I don't squat anymore. I am on my way to being the leanest that I've ever been, with the show coming up this summer, and we are oh so close to 50,000 subscribers. So everything seems to be going very nicely. But none of that really matters, because I am not a girl on Instagram taking photos of my ass. We have seen rapid demographic shifts in recent years as tons of women have immigrated into the gym. Muscle mommies have wrapped their big thighs around social media, and every day it's looking more and more like a death by snoo-snoo.
You want die like last men visit Amazonia?
What'd they die of?
Crushed pelvises.
Yes!
According to my fake data, the gym memberships purchased by women in the past year are up 45% alone, and women complaining online about men in the gym looking in their general direction is up 5,000%. These are historic numbers, and it's normal now for women to work out in nothing more than a small sports bra and booty shorts, if not skin-tight spandex. Combine this with the extremely colorful outfits, provocative positions, and frequent, shall we say, posing in between sets, it's not exactly a strange phenomenon that more eyes are looking at women. And look, I know plenty of men out there are creeps. There's no denying that. I have seen proof of this from many women over the years, and if you don't know, I have roasted guys in previous videos for their behavior towards women in gyms. Women deal with thirsty and desperate men, if not outright stalkers, all the time. A lot of guys don't actually believe them whenever they say this, but it absolutely happens. So please understand, ladies, I resonate with you. I get it. I am not victim blaming here. But have you considered, just maybe considered, not dressing the way you do when you go work out?
You are not a whore, but you are wearing a whore's uniform.
No matter how much they complain about it, women deep down love the attention they get in the gym from men, asterisks, and from other women as well. The asterisk here comes in the form of men that they do not want to deal with. And herein lies our conundrum, because women do not want to deal with the vast majority of men. The feminine psyche relies on attention, like Liver King relies on growth hormone. But women understandably have to, or at least they should be, choosy in the men that they deal with, for a number of reasons. So if we could somehow eliminate all of the ugly men from the gym, and broader society in general, women's complaints about this would drop faster than a natural bodybuilder's test levels. The problem is, unattractive men largely keep first world society functioning, and women's preferences vary. A guy who one woman considers ugly, another woman thinks is handsome. A guy who is too short for one woman can meet another who doesn't mind his height at all. And a guy who face raiders online call a sub-5 may have no issues in real life getting laid. As the old saying goes, it's not over until the fat lady sings. Or in the case of the gym, until the lady goes up to the front desk and reports you and gets you kicked out. So whenever women say this, understand that they're not complaining about men altogether. They're complaining about the men that they find unattractive, that they have no interest in. Even if they only have a 30-second interaction with him, that is too much for women. As I mentioned in last year's address, if women were truly as concerned about this as they claim to be, they would flock to women's-only gyms. Oh wait, they all went bankrupt because women don't go to them. So yeah, good luck, ladies. And on that topic, you may have seen recent headlines that a bodybuilding show in Brazil, and there are rumors that this will come to other countries as well, the men's wellness division is going to happen. And this has understandably made people confused. Some people are very upset. I don't exactly see why, though. This is bodybuilding we're talking about. This entire activity is a beauty pageant. What you really could call it is a glorified fetish exhibition. And some of you don't realize this, but a lot of people involved in bodybuilding, even if they don't say it overtly, if they're not public with it, they are somewhere on the rainbow spectrum. Even if they just have to be for a few minutes to get in the good graces of a judge or to pay for their PEDs, it still counts.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women.
And because of that, inspired by the men's wellness division, I formally propose the men's body hair division. In fact, not only do I propose it, I demand it. And I will sign an executive order as soon as I'm finished with this video. I am sick and tired of shaving my body and cutting myself and making ingrown hairs and potentially even paying for waxing. We should be able to proudly stand on stage in our natural state, covered in body hair, not having manscaped for months. And if that sounds like it's about to be an ad segue, it's not, because Manscaped has still not reached out to me. Come on, guys, what are you doing? Now, I have considered entering a normal show with body hair. I suppose you could say as a joke or a prank. Now, would I place last? Most likely. Would I get disqualified? Perhaps. Would it be a waste of money? Absolutely. But government has never had a problem doing that. So as dumb as that would ultimately be, it might be worth it for the views. As a content creator, it is very tempting to do dumb shit because you know it'll get more clicks. I mean, really, that is a proven business model, whether we're talking about fitness or any other niche. The dumber you are, the more eyeballs that you're going to draw. The internet now is basically a never-ending competition to see who can do the goofiest things for the longest period of time, and either not suffer major consequences, or not get arrested. And even as the comments get flooded with people calling it cringe, and dumb, and not necessary, it only gets stronger and stronger. What a lot of people don't realize is that they are fueling the very content that they claim to hate so much, because they never stop talking about it. You watch the content, you leave long-winded comments waxing poetic about how terrible it is, you may even share the link with people and say, hey, look how dumb this is. You are fueling the ecosystem that you claim to hate. A lot of you do not understand how social media works. I mean, some of you talk about having no social media presence while you're commenting on YouTube. Oh, but YouTube is different, you see. No, it's not. It is just another form of social media, even if it is more long-form video focused. It's all under the same umbrella. A lot of guys now seem to fantasize about unplugging from this, moving out to the woods, going off the grid, only eating what they hunt and grow, generate their own water and electricity, and getting out of this technological hellscape in which we all find ourselves now. Those are all excellent skills to have. I think everybody should learn them. I'm not proficient enough at them myself. That said, I think you need to be careful what you wish for, and depending on how current events pan out, we may naturally get back to that state over the next few years. It's very easy to romanticize living out of a log cabin while you sit in your air-conditioned room on your deluxe plush mattress with a supercomputer of a phone in your hand with access to the internet and all the information you could ever want. I mean, you could buy thousands of dollars of camping supplies, have them delivered tomorrow, and then go on your camping expedition if you really wanted. If shit really hits the fan, a lot of these LARPers online are going to be among the first to be taken out. Gone. First couple of hours. Wrist curls and protein pancakes aren't getting you very far if the grid goes down. And all of us skip cardio anyway. So if we have to run from someone or something, we're cooked. You might as well just start posing like you do every day in the mirror in hopes that you can scare away the grizzly bear. Or you can start talking to your assailant about stretch-mediated hypertrophy via lengthened partials in the sagittal plane. At that point, he'll probably just off himself. But that leads us into the new divide. Kind of like that Linkin Park song. No matter where exactly you fall on the fitness spectrum at this point, there are pretty much two distinct camps. The science and bro science. And it seems to me that bro science, which was the dominant ideology whenever I started lifting a number of years ago, It seems to be making a comeback. The pendulum is swinging away from the science that has totally controlled this space for the past number of years. And one of the biggest people responsible for this is Sam Sulek. For his contributions, I am going to formally appoint him to my newly formed bro science cabinet. You know, for all his flaws and failing organs, he's brought raw lifting videos back amidst a sea of overly edited, glamorized, drama-ridden content, if not for the content in general that takes 30 minutes to say something very simple with a bunch of fancy words and graphs and charts because it impresses people because of science. I have given Sam a full healthcare plan with comprehensive coverage. Hopefully he makes it to 30. If not, I order every Five Guys establishment to erect a statue of him in the state of Ohio. I also appoint this bro in India who ate 39 coins and 37 magnets because he thought, and I quote, zinc helps for bodybuilding. He didn't just talk a big game in comment sections and forums, he did the damn thing. And of course almost died, but that's how you solidify yourself as a gym legend. We're freaks. The article did not say this guy's name or show what he looked like, but for his bravery and sacrifice, I am awarding him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The tides seem to be turning, even if relatively slowly, back in favor of the bros. Even though most of the so-called evidence-based guys are actually just bros who LARP as scientists and experts because they can parrot the title, abstract, and conclusions of studies, oftentimes they have no idea of the methods used to conduct the study, how to actually interpret the data, if there were adjustments to the stats, correlation versus causation. They really don't know anything beyond the buzzwords that they can clip out and use in content to wow people who think that automatically makes you intelligent. And the crazy part is, most people, even with high-ranking degrees, even PhDs in these fields, they commit scientific errors and logical fallacies all the time. A lot of these degrees are not worth the paper that they're printed on. Or you could say the email that they're attached to. Here is how science unfortunately works now. Somebody says something that you agree with, you say, see, it's proven, the data's conclusive, everything we need to know. If it's something you don't like, you say, oh, well, that's BS. Oh, but look who funded the study. Oh, that's just one cherry-picked example. That doesn't prove anything. Nuance died a long time ago, and I know this is a shocking revelation, but you're allowed to change your mind when presented with new information. Higher education just keeps churning out moron after moron who kiss enough ass and memorize enough information and stay in school long enough to get a passing grade. All you really need to do to be considered a genius by modern standards is have some letters after your name, confidently say things, talk about how studies show, and oftentimes never even reference those studies, you just say it, and they're just phantom studies no one ever sees. Have a good quality microphone and camera, face app your thumbnails, have a good editor. You're golden. And here's the best part, whenever you get challenged on your ideas or called out on your bullshit, you can turn your back on all of these supposed principles that you preach. Shrug off the criticism and say, well, I'm bigger than that guy, even though in previous videos you say that size doesn't equal knowledge. You can block the person from commenting on your posts, even though you say that you're a free speech absolutist. Or you can totally ignore the meat and potatoes of the matter and just revert back to middle school level insults, even though you present yourself online as a stoic intellectual. If there's one thing I've learned in all my time on the internet, it's that people contradict themselves and turn back on their supposed principles as soon as their ego or brand get threatened, faster than you can drive to the gym off 2 scoops of pre-workout. But this is why the bros will never die. We might not have the credentials and the letters after our names and the copious amounts of student loan debt that the science guys do, but we still have body dysmorphia, we like working out, and we want to get laid. The bros don't need all of the $5 words and the scientific jargon to express our ideas and explain ourselves.
What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about.
The nerds say, I train to optimize myofibrillar hypertrophy. The bros say, I'm trying to get big. The nerds say, progressive overload to challenge the muscle fibers. The bros say, add weight to the bar. I have a tested IQ of 166, which legally makes me a super genius. But I still talk like a bro. Trying to sound smart doesn't actually mean that you are, and making training more complicated than it needs to be doesn't actually mean you're getting better results. I made an old short about this guy who claimed that pull-ups aren't a good mass builder because they're too unstable, with his giant diatribe in the caption. Even though your hands are locked onto the bar during pull-ups and nobody's forcing you to swing your legs, but I get it. It's all part of the business. The science-based guys have to ride that line every chance they get, because that's how they stand out, it's tied to their brand, and it is their way to draw people in and impress them. So let these dorks have their endless tug of war over the science. I'll stick with what has worked for decades, what you can intuitively figure out, and I don't need a study to validate my training decisions, which will be debunked in 2 weeks by another study, which will also be debunked in another 2 weeks by a fresh meta-analysis. This is not to say that exercise science is totally useless, but it is very overrated as the end-all be-all to figure things out. And perhaps the craziest part of all is that the fixation a lot of guys have on the science actually turns it into a religion. Let's look at some of the commonalities. There is blind faith. You have to just go with what it says, no matter what it says. You can't question anything. If you do, you will be shunned by the believers, and you must bow down to the highest authorities, no matter what they do or say, or what they don't do or don't say. Their Bible is PubMed. Their apostles are the science-based influencers and coaches. And their body and blood of Christ are chicken breast and diet soda. Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fishes and made the blind man see. Science-based influencers multiply the test in the tren, and they may make your vision even more blurry because you have to keep squinting at their extremely long captions. But can you imagine if they had roids back in Jesus' time? You know, he did rise from the dead, which is pretty impressive. Might have to do a natty or not on Jesus. And speaking of natty or not, everybody's favorite massive waste of time on here, the final point I have to make is about YouTube fitness itself and the overall content. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, it fucking sucks. I'll tell you what, man, this industry is like the cult of no personality. Which, by the way, is why so many of these guys are always kissing each other's asses and propping each other up, and they come to their defense as soon as anybody questions them, because they form their own ecosystem to constantly farm new viewers and new engagement. I talk about this in the State of the Union last year in better detail. Some people are more down-to-earth and friendly, I would say for sure, but this comes down to you scratch my back, I scratch yours. It is a business. A lot of you guys actually think that all these people that collaborate constantly, you think they're actually friends, and they're in harmony, singing and dancing with each other and all this other stuff. Understand something. As soon as the incentive is gone to collaborate, they will never collaborate again. They will leave them in the dust as fast as they turn on the notifications to get the first comment on their new videos. But aside from that, what is my content plan going forward? I'm definitely going to keep the informative style videos. I'm not sure if they're going to be as often, probably more commentary on social topics relating to the gym. I did do live streams a little bit ago. Those tend to not do well on the algorithm and they're very time consuming, so I'm not sure how often I'll do those. Maybe I will start those up again in some capacity too. But really, man, fitness content is so freaking repetitive. There is only so much stuff you can talk about. That's why every fitness influencer has a dozen videos about how to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. New one comes out every single year. That's why AthleanX has 100 plus videos on bicep curls. It's why Joel Seedman comes up with a new exercise every day of his life. You have to just keep churning the wheel of content to keep people paying attention to you. Even if you're saying really the same things, you just have to slightly repackage it and redesign it to keep that wheel going. That's also why there is a deep sea of tier list videos ranking all these exercises for muscle groups that more or less do the exact same thing. People ask me in comments sometimes, did you see what this guy said about this topic, or did you see what this dude posted? And I'm always like, no. I don't watch fitness content anymore. It's been a long time since I have. I'm more in the producing space of it now, but even so, none of it even really catches my eye. I'm terribly bored of general fitness content, so I may put my channel more in the direction of overall lifestyle, to the degree that I can. That's one of the good things about competing and something it gives you just content to work with. Something I would like to do though is start visiting really cool gyms around the United States. I'm not sure if that's going to be extremely soon, but down the line I definitely want to do that. I would like to go to these spots and ideally get a few subscribers together and we could film workouts. I would probably put you guys through my workout, sort of a see if you can hang type of thing. But I think that would be cool and a good way to teach people and get the engagement at the same time. So I'll keep you updated on that.
FBI, open up!
But I'm being informed right now that there is a massive protest happening outside of the White House. I must have pissed another group of people off, as I tend to do. So I have to go into the presidential bunker of hiding. I'll see you guys soon.